Then there's Konami, which I think is worse, right? So after Silent Hill 2 remake and Silent Hill F got the series supposedly back on track, Konami is aiming to release about one title per year in the horror franchise. Boys, Konami is planning to turn Silent Hill into a yearly release.
Holy shit.
They want to turn this shit into Call of Duty, bro. Guys, I mean, when I say okay, so when I tell you I face planted, I literally face planted. Right? I saw this title and I was like, there's no fucking way, right? There's no way. First off, one was a remake. And one was a brand new game in the series that didn't even have anything to do with the actual series in any real way. It was just a retelling in a totally different location. So none of these are actual mainstay franchise entries. They're just either a remake or a side story. And we all know that Blooper Team is working on remaking Silent Hill 1. So I wonder if that's going to be coming out next year, if they plan to keep up with this 1 year cycle, right? But my thing is, single player video games are not the kind of games that I think you want to release on a yearly cycle. I think that's going to lead to massive burnout very quickly. Multiplayer games at least have the aspect of playing with other people so that FOMO marketing can be a thing, right? Because you don't want to miss out on playing if your friends are playing, right? But when it comes to a single player game, I don't think that has the same thing. I don't think that has the same effect. I don't think it's going to have the same level of FOMO. Mason says, I bet they're using AI to speed up development time. I would bet that you're correct, to be honest with you. I would bet that you are correct, my man. So I really don't like this because I think what we're about to do, or we're about to see, is we're about to see the quality go way down. And the quality is already way down as it is, right? Silent Hill 2 remake was higher quality than Silent Hill F, in my opinion. I think Blooper Team did a better job with the game. However, they went easy on the horror. They watered it down. They censored some of the scenes that were a little bit too problematic. And overall, you know, those are the things that I criticized the game for when I reviewed it. Silent Hill F had a way more gore, which was amazing. Had way more gore, way more violence, more so in the cutscenes, but whatever. But it wasn't really a Silent Hill game. It just wasn't. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it was a Silent Hill game. You're just mad that it doesn't take place in Silent Hill. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point. So, I mean, it's a side story, and I'm okay with a side story. It goes way off the deep end. It goes way off the fucking deep end, right? The game turns into this like, bro, I understand why it does that, because obviously it's kind of how it is similar to Silent Hill is obviously the world around you is a reflection of the inner turmoil of the main character, right? So with Hinako, you get that in a way by visiting the shrine and having two different versions of Hinako and all that stuff. Like, fine. But I mean, you're kind of missing the namesake. You're kind of missing what makes Silent Hill Silent Hill. I mean, you kind of have to have Silent Hill to be a Silent Hill. But I get that they wanted to call it Silent Hill because they wanted to sell it based off the clout of the name. Because honestly, I'll be real with you. If it wasn't for the name Silent Hill, I don't think Silent Hill F would have sold anywhere near as good. At least not worldwide. I think it still would have sold good in Japan if it was named something different. because it's a quintessential Japanese story, and it's made by someone who is extremely well known and popular in Japan. So I think it would have sold well in Japan, but in terms of worldwide release, like in the States and whatnot, I don't think it would have sold well at all without the Silent Hill name. But in Japan, yes, I think it would have sold fine. Um, so I have a lot of problems with Silent Hill F. The game is super short. It has moments where it's really good, and overall, I gave it a positive score. But it's definitely lacking. It's lacking in a lot of different ways. I beat the game in like 8 hours, bro. 8 hours, man. Dude, beating this game in 8 hours is crazy. And they're like, well, you can just replay the game. I don't want to. I don't want to replay the game. I wanted to have a full experience from the first playthrough. And they're like, well, you can play the other endings to get the true ending. I don't want that. If I want to play other endings, it's to get alternate endings, not so I could get the true ending. That's fucking gay, bro. Like, well, I shouldn't have to play the game 2 or 3 times to get the true ending, And I think part of the reason why the game felt shorter in comparison to other Silent Hill games that are not that long, to be fair, but I think the puzzles in the other Silent Hill games were better, in my opinion. I think they were better. The puzzles in Silent Hill F weren't really that great. There were some that were okay, but overall, it was like, whatever. It is what it is. I disagree. There were slightly altered cutscenes and slightly new added places to explore on New Game Plus. So slightly is worth playing through an entire playthrough for another 8 hours. That's what I'm saying. Like, you say slightly, so like slightly meaning like slightly, meaning like 1 or 2 altered scenes. Like, that's worth playing another 8 hours of essentially the same game. I don't think so, personally. And if you do, that's fine. But I don't think so, personally. You want to know why I don't think so? Because I played Tormented Souls, an indie game, that gave me a way more interesting story. Tormented Souls 2, by the way. Tormented Souls 1 took me about 11 hours to beat. Tormented Souls 2 gave me, what was it, like 7 areas to explore? 6 or 7 areas to explore. Way harder puzzles, way more satisfying combat. Overall, I liked the story better. And it took me like 16 hours to beat that game. And I didn't have to play through the game again in order to get the true ending or anything like that. Again, I have no problems with alternate endings if they're meant to be like completely different endings, right? Or even joke endings, right? Like UFO endings, whatever. But if you're telling me I have to play through the game 2 or 3 times to understand what the true ending is, I think that's crazy. Even though other games have done that in the past, I never liked it. But that's just me personally. Again, everybody's different. So you only played Tormented Souls 1 and you enjoyed it. You should definitely play Tormented Souls 2. It is better in literally every way. It is better. In every fucking way, it's better. It's unbelievable. And yeah, exactly. The price difference, right? Silent Hill F is $70. Tormented Souls, I think, was like $25 when I bought it, or something like that. So again, I don't like that personally. Never did, never will. And I understand why these games do it is because they're trying to make a game that is shorter, have artificially longer gameplay time. But I don't like that shit. Just give me a little bit longer, fuller experience, right? If you would have told me I had to play the game for, let's say, 5 more hours, but then I could get the understanding of what is actually happening outside of the original ending, that would be fine. Give me some new areas, give me something else, whatever. But you're telling me I got to play through the whole fucking game again to get slightly different cutscenes so I could kind of sort of understand what the ending's supposed to be. I don't know. It's just weird. That's just me. Anyway, everybody's different on that. But here's what I will say. I think we could all fundamentally agree that the chances of them doing a yearly Silent Hill release probably is a bad idea for a lot of different reasons. I think people are going to have a lot of problems with this. And keep in mind, they tend to overpromise and underdeliver. They'll say that they're going to do a yearly release and then like not actually do it. So, I mean, there's that. But let's see what. So apparently, Silent Hill 1 is being remade, which we already knew, but apparently Silent Hill Townfall is also being remade. They released plans to launch roughly one new Silent Hill game per year after getting the iconic horror series back on track with this year's excellent Silent Hill F and last year's also excellent Silent Hill 2 remake. Silent Hill series producer Motoi Okamoto shed light on the company's ambitions and Famitsu's end-of-year feature, asking developers what their hopes for 2026 are. He says, following the release of Silent Hill 2 in October 24, we are able to deliver Silent Hill F in September 25, and the Silent Hill series has begun to get back on track. Including both announced and unannounced titles, we're aiming for a release pace of about one title per year. I'm not sure how much of that we'll be able to realize, but I'll continue to do my best as producer of the Silent Hill series. Ideally, we like to keep excitement around the Silent Hill series going at all times. We're working hard to share new updates, so I'd appreciate it if you could just wait a little longer. I don't know, bro. I don't know about this one. I think this is a bad idea. Up next for the series is Silent Hill Townfall, a still mysterious project coming from the indie studio No Code, developers of the lonely space thriller Observation. We also know Blooper Team is now remaking the very first Silent Hill game after giving the second a foggy makeover. Otherwise, everything else is up in the air. Maybe Konami will let Neo Bards continue what it started in Silent Hill F. I don't know about that. They did say that they planned on doing they wanted to potentially do other Silent Hills in other locations. So Silent Hill F was obviously Japan. They were talking about visiting other places like fucking Russia. Can you imagine Silent Hill Russia? Imagine the monsters, they come up to you and be like, hello, comrade. Oh my God, dude. Okay, I would allow it. I would allow it if they have a Drago like reference in the game. Right? So like after you kill a boss, the main character should say, if he dies, he dies. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that would be legit. I'd be okay with that, right? Bad idea due to geopolitical issues. I'm just saying. I think that's what we need. I should be able to go to the boss and just be like, if he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? That would be cool. That would be really cool. But no, I don't think anybody's excited for this. I think a yearly Silent Hill release is going to be highly stupid. And it's going to water down. Like, okay, so if people are now starting to be excited for Silent Hill again, I think the fastest way to get them unexcited is by inundating them with content that is not at the highest quality for every release. We already know that the quality is probably not going to be there if they have to release this yearly. Now, it seems like they're doing the divide and conquer strategy where they're hiring multiple studios. That's fine. But dude, like, even if you hire multiple studios, you're still keeping them on this 1 year track. That's not going to end up well, right? They're going to pull an Assassin's Creed. Nobody wants to see Silent Hill turn into Assassin's Creed. Nobody wants to see that. Because then you're going to start seeing stupid shit in it that is meant to artificially increase the playtime, like RPG elements and fucking microtransactions. Hey, for $10, you can unlock the whole map at the beginning of the game. You know, like nobody wants to see that shit.